So come on in, take a sip. Let's wind down. It has been quite a long time. We took a 7-day cruise. We spent 3 or 4 days in Barcelona on top of that. We're just so glad to be back. But today, here we are. We've got a Wednesday grid we get to work on together. Finally, I've missed you guys tremendously. When we didn't have a signal, I mean, it was just awful. The Wi-Fi just couldn't do anything, and I could barely get the puzzle to come down on my phone. And as a matter of fact, yesterday on the flight back to Munich, I used the opportunity to download all the puzzles that I had missed, and I tried to get all through them, but I still think I missed out on yesterday's. Perhaps I got it finished. I'm not sure, but anyway, I think I'm all caught up. Don't really know quite sure. I need to take a look at the archives and see on the app. But so far, it feels really great just to be home, be back in my own bed, and here with you guys. And today we are having this is a Negra Grenache, right? And it comes from Barcelona. We took a sailboat from Barcelona's main harbor, and we took it all the way over to this neighboring village where there's this beautiful vineyard. It's been in the same family for 1,000 years or something. It's just unbelievable. They showed us around, as you can see from these images, really quite beautiful. The fella that was giving us the tours from Luxembourg, and he was very knowledgeable. And one of those guys that used to be a banker, but now he wants to focus on wine, and that's always inspiring to me. But I got to tell you, this Bouquet d'Alea, this is a fabulous Grenache, and much like the Schwarzer Riesling that I'm always bragging about that I found across the street at the Nachhof, this is just a bouquet, if not an opera, in your nose, in your mouth, the way it leaves you feeling refreshed. I mean, everything about this is nothing but fruit. It punches, but yet it's still a dry, clean finishing wine. I cannot speak enough about the wines we tasted at this winery, and I'm hoping I can find the distributing sources here in Bavaria where I can go get my hands on more. I don't think it would be it just wouldn't be very prudent for me to fly down to Barcelona every 2 weeks to buy 3 or 4 cases of wine. So maybe on Ryanair. We'll see. But what a fabulous wine. I have it chilled, just like they did, and like the Schwarzer Riesling here from Bavaria and from Austria. It's fabulous with a nice chill. It's very refreshing because it's summer. And again, I'm just so glad to be back. And we picked up some subscribers while we were out, so thank you for that, by the way. And thank you for no hate mail from anybody. Appreciate that. But just so glad to be back. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, the whole 9 yards. We are here, and everything should be copacetic. And I tell you, it just feels nice to be in a normal place for a change, right? So let's go ahead and hop into our grid. We have a Samuel A. Donaldson construction today, edited by Joel Fagliano. And it's a Wednesday. Never know what you're going to get. So let's just take a look and see. Okay, so when the stage direction enter 3 witches appears in Macbeth. And this is, of course, the moment where I get to say, yay, Shakespeare majors. Because, yes, that would be Act 1. And I don't probably want to put number 1 in there. Toil, yeah, wonderful lines from Macbeth. Okay, last members of relay teams. Okay. High time, maybe high noon. Yeah. Seventh heaven. Virginia Tech athletes. Well, so I guess those are the Hokies. We saw them play the Bruins at the Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas, when we were stationed at Fort Bliss. Shotzi and I. It was great. The Hokies did a pretty good job of losing to the Bruins, I think, but still, not bad. So I think our last members of relay teams, I'm telling you, this is great wine. Give it a shot. Last members of relay teams, well, I think this is fitting considering we just got off a 7-day cruise, which incidentally is too long to be on a cruise. Blank caps, movie treat. I think those are snow caps, right? I think Jerry loves those things. We need to see if she does. Barbecue joint offering. I think maybe ribs, right? So we're doing okay here. Phil is with a crayon, and I guess that would be to color in. When I was a kid, an artist to be, I was, but I'm telling you, I hated coloring inside the lines. Preach, maybe orate, why not? Acknowledged applause, perhaps we're talking about taking a bow, but in the past tense. Seventh heaven, I'm thinking this could be cloud something, but it won't. Cloud 9 would be too short. Let's see. Many residents of Nunavut, and these I think are Inuits. Ruby of a raisin in the sun, I think that's D. So we do have a cloud here, but this is not 9. So I don't know. It's kind of comedians, collections. Oh Lord, you think they're sets or do you think they're gags? What do we got here? Mower houses. I'm gonna say that must be sheds. Okay. So now what we got? Comedians. I guess we can go with sets on that one. What is this? Cloud. Good one. Can be either a ha or a heh. So I don't know. Let's see what we got here. Like abandoned malls. If that's a heh, like the little snicker. I think that H-E-H, that would make abandoned malls eerie. But I think we probably need to take a look at that because I don't feel comfortable just yet. Blunder could be to air, and yes, that is a bit inelegant, isn't it? Just a bit inelegant, excuse me. Pump option, perhaps this is diesel. Note by a poor grade, see me. Okay. Well, if that poor grade were delivered by a cake in Alice in Wonderland, it would say, eat me. So, is this Cloud 3? I guess so. Don't know what that's all about. Cloud 3, though 3 is the square root of 9. There's that. And that's about all I know. Texting format and brief. How about NSMS? And insistently unhip. Insistently unhip. Well, that sounds just like something an old fart would be, wouldn't it, right? I don't want to wear those pants, look like a youngin'. See, iPhone speaker. I guess we're talking about SIRI. We don't want to actually bring that up. Okay, so March Madness round. First thing out of my mind is Sweet 16, but angle. Consistently unhip. I don't know. ST. Big name in Greek yogurt. And it's not a big name here in Germany, but I think that's Okios or something. When I'm on, I don't remember how to spell it either. What is this? Is this even right? Angle. No, I don't know. I guess I don't know how to spell it, and I don't have Shotzi in here with me today because she's running around just being home. We got here. Church founded by Joseph Smith for short, and I think that's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So I guess insistently unhip could be stodgy, though. I mean, yeah, that fits definition-wise, but I would have been thinking, I don't know, if anything, curmudgeon-y, right? Or just a grump, some sort, right? Like a wet noodle, maybe that's limp. Really want to finish this off over here. Angle. Big name in Greek yogurt. I wish I could just reach behind me and say, hey, sweetheart, how do you spell that? Oikios or maybe oikos? I can see it in my head. We have it in the commissary at the various bases we have in the area here, American bases. And, they just fly American food in because some soldiers, sailors, airmen, marine do not want to have anything to do with local food. I rarely shop at the commissary, if ever. Maybe for those really yummy little zero-carb tortillas, those zeros from Mission or something. Well, what do you know? Okay. employer of Carrie Matheson on Homeland for short. And again, I've never seen an episode, but I think this is a Central Intelligence Agency. If that's not it, maybe the NSA, but this is all crosswordese for me. Admits to, looks like cops, so maybe it is CIA. Chain with a 2x2x2 breakfast combo. I have no idea, but I'm assuming that I and the 3 letters behind it, maybe an IHOP. So now what do we got? Well, what do you know? Oh, look. We can try it. Purina arrival. Okay, maybe we're going with Alpo there. Tegan and Sarah, that it would be a pop duo. And I am a fan. They are like the original first aid kit, you know, when it comes to like identical twins just going into music together. But I don't know for sure that first aid kit they're actually identical. I don't even know. Lead into meter. Perhaps this is an odometer. Let's see what this is. Trackable sense. Ooh, now that is clever. I don't think I've ever seen spores in a grid before. March Madness round. This is Sweet 16, right? So the Sweet 4, again, okay. Square root, got it. Tracking. So now that means angle is to fish. Okay, all right, very cool. Beatles hit written by a teenage Paul McCartney. And if I do understand that correctly to be when I get older, losing my hair. So I guess it's when I'm 64 and the root of 64 is 8. So when I'm 64, no, 8. Okay, got it. This is a clever little grid, and this is certainly by no means your average rollover Wednesday grid. This is actually pretty challenging. I'm liking it a lot. Retail giant headquartered in Bentonville, Arkansas. When I was a young ad exec, I was actually one of their account people. Walmart had them, and Sam's Club, and Tyson Chicken, Uncle Ben's Rice, Ream, Rude, Weather Queen air conditioners, thermostat piece. How about a dial? 2021 sci-fi epic nominated for Best Picture, and I do believe that's Dune. Have not seen that yet either, and everybody tells me I need to. I haven't even seen the first one, I think from the 80s. Wasn't it with Kevin Bacon or something? I mean, I don't even know. Gym rep, perhaps a curl. Evergreens with fragrant rod. Yeah, also good if you line your, if you line your walk-in humidor with cedar paneling, that's a good thing, right? But also your closet. Keep away the moths, I do believe that's what I've been told. Dedicated work will be an ode. It is so good to be back with you guys. I promise you, it is just great. Shotzi and I both were just like kind of freaking out the entire time. Like, we're not getting to post anything. I'm like, I know. You're going to hate me. No. So one, making a bed, perhaps. I have no idea. I mean, I guess it could be like a hoe or something, like a flower bed, but like a go-getter. See, all right. Now this is where we get a little tricky here. These go-getter types, I mean, it's either going to be an alpha or a type A, and I don't know. So maybe we're going to do some downs here to see. Bigwig. No idea. Bros, greeting. Okay, so if it's a type A, bigwig, that would be a Y. Bros greeting could be like, I don't know, what do we got here? St. Louis summer setting, and I guess that would be Central Daylight Time. And with 56 across, hairstylist observation, that also applies to 17, 25, and 34 across. Dethrone could be to oust, and I think that gave me what I needed here. If this is an O, I know it. Gym bag emanation, that's disgusting, but it could be an odor. So maybe we're talking about a tycoon, perhaps. It kind of gives me this feeling that we're talking about a type A and not a alpha, though I think they're pretty much synonymous with each other, aren't they? I don't know. Any of you psychologists, maybe you could chime in. So a bros greeting could be, yo, dude. Leaks of reality TV, and I think that's, is it Nev or Nene or something like that? I can't remember. Stages as a play. Okay, I think this is puts on, so therefore we didn't have to have that. So we got uno plus due is tre. Shout out to the Italians out there, and Italian Americans like Joel Valiano, who's editing our puzzles for us. So maybe the one making a bed is a hoer. Which, by the way, one of my best friends on the planet is Dutch, and I've been learning a bit of Dutch here and there. It's very similar. It's almost like it's a cross between. It's like you just smash German and English together, you get Dutch, right? But with a little sprinklings of French here and there. But I think a hoer is the Dutch word for, well, maybe someone who sells their intimate time. I'm going to leave it alone. I don't disapprove. I just don't, I do believe that's the Dutch word for it, though. So wow, that's crazy. All right, with 56 across, hairstylist observations. So I do not know yet what we got here. Poker variant with 4 hole cards, and I do believe that's Omaha. But to make sure, Dallas School. Oh, sweetheart, they're mentioning your alma mater. My darling bride matriculated to Southern Methodist University. At the same time, I was at TCU. 30 miles away to the west. We don't talk on football day. I'm kidding. We don't actually care about that game. We don't care who wins. They're both awesome schools. So see, 48 across. Okay. I'm not getting the clue yet. If that's Omaha, though, I got the M there, so I guess I could go with that. We got here, so don't know yet. Pre-printed word on some name tags. Reminds me of my political days when I held office. You always go to these fundraisers and you get the donors to wear these tags that say, "Hello, my name is Bob." And that way, when they get their picture made with me, like, "Hey, how's it going?" Then when you blew the pictures up, you could see the name. Like, oh, that's Bob. So Bob from Christopher. That's the trick. Went on the road. Okay, let's see. Word following sand or steel, and that could certainly be a trap. And I guess this could be toured. So, okay, cool. And I don't know yet on the other one. But it says Eli Lilly and Company. But I would have to remember if it's a Y or an I. So long in Sevilla. And that would be adios. Speaking of Spain, there it is again. We also went to Cannes and to Marseille. Absolutely had a wonderful time in France. Mo preceder, maybe slow-mo? What's interesting, when we were in France, because I speak French, everything was just fine. Could speak just wonderfully. But when we were in Catalonia, everybody understood my Spanish, but then they'd reply in like that Catalan. And I was struggling to figure out what that all was. It seemed like it was just just this pressing mix of Spanish and Portuguese and French and then dialects and stuff. Like it took me a while, but I finally started putting context clues together. But that was not an easy thing language-wise. Vietnamese soups, and I guess these would be fuzz, but that kind of sounds funny when you say it correctly. If you say foes, maybe, but in Vietnamese it's pho. And I used to love that stuff. I used to consider myself the pho king, the king of pho. Wilbur to Fern in Charlotte's Web. Well, gosh, I just wish we had 7 letters. I'd say some pig, but that was really Charlotte's designation, wasn't it? In Excelsis Deo, are your roots are showing, maybe? Oh, what the hey, let's just put it in there. Why not? Let's see what happens. Okay, so lose in a log rolling match, say. I can't even imagine. Composer Carlo Menotti, and I think that's Giancarlo, and I gotta remember how to spell the Italian John, which I think is G-A-I-N. Okay, part of a car's exhaust system. I'm thinking maybe a tailpipe, and if that's the case, what do we got now? Am I off on a tangent? Keep climbing airline. I think we're talking about Delta. and lose in a, I don't know, Wilbur to furnish on its way, maybe a pet pig. So now what do we got? So obtained informally, maybe to snag. And Olympic blade, any pay. I guess this is to get wet, because if you're log rolling, you're running on logs, staying above the water. So let's see. Prepared to drive, and I guess this is a golf reference to teed, as in teed up the ball. Afternoon attraction, I guess it'd be matinee, morning hours, ante meridiems. Now what do we got here? Major league. Well, I thought we were thinking about the first level of Army field grade officers. I think like Army majors, right? Or they could be Marine or Air Force, but nevertheless. Major league, I guess it would be Army. And what we got here? Significant stretches. We're talking about eras here, right? So how do we do, Bob? Hey. So this was great. This was a fabulous puzzle, wasn't it? I mean, it didn't take long to figure out. We're talking about, like Cloud 3 and When I'm 8, I mean, it was just a pretty cool puzzle, but your roots are showing right now. I don't know. My wife and I both used to do hair when we were teenagers. I don't remember ever saying that to anybody. Your roots are showing. I mean, they usually show up in your chair because they know their roots are showing, right? But what the hey? I mean, it was a really clever grid. I enjoyed the heck out of this. So fabulous. What a wonderful puzzle. And what a wonderful thing it is to be back with you guys and drinking wine and hanging out and solving grids and having an actual internet connection. Fabulous. So let's go ahead and knock you off until tomorrow. Let's go ahead and bring down the goodbye here, too, because I don't want to beat people up with anything like that. And we've kind of spent about almost 20 minutes on the puzzle today, but I just had so much I wanted to chat with y'all about. I've missed you terribly. Thank you so much for your loyalty and for liking all that stuff that you do, subscribing and just commenting. And speaking of, now that I have an internet connection, I'm going to have to go back and reply to everybody, because you know what? It's been killing me that I kind of had notifications that you did send a note, but I couldn't actually necessarily read or do anything about that. So it's coming. I love you all. Thank you all so much. From Schatzi and me. Ich wünsche Ihnen einen schönen Tag noch. Ich wünsche Ihnen einen schönen Abend auch. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss. Servus. Grüß Gott. Chin. Ciao, ciao. Be well. Take care.